like to give all praises, glory, and honor unto the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Also like to give all praises, double honors, like it, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers, you Akim, the hopeful elect that go out throughout the four corners and, do what was commanded unto you. Wake up the hopeful elect and prophesy. Shalom to you, brothers. We got another week, and these Christians are starting to take L's. And Esau's power, how a lot of his power was gained was by painting himself up as God, right? Trying to trick the whole world into thinking that he is, right? But even the elite of Esau know, and Esau being the so-called white man, right? The nation of Edom, right? That is your progenitor, Esau. You being in the power seat, you have misused your power. The Most High gave you the ability to be the whooping stick for the nation of Israel, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, right? And he was the whooping stick unto you, right? But the scriptures say that the kingdom shall be translated from one people to another. So you can see the downfall, as the truth is going out and getting more powerful and gaining more ears and getting more, noticed, notoriety, Esau's kingdom is starting to crumble, right? His infrastructure, they're finally starting to admit that, it's terrible. I know the brother always goes into it. It's Class D infrastructure, and their military is the only thing they're putting money into. So it's just like Rome put all their money and time and effort into their military, and what did they do? They spread themselves so thin that they weren't as powerful as they thought they were. They were living off of their legend rather than living off of their conquering. And that's what's starting to happen to the U.S., which is Babylon the Great, the great whore, right? The scriptures say that, the kingdom shall be translated from one to another. So as you see the rise of Israel, and the truth being proclaimed throughout the four corners of the earth, you're starting to see the decline of Esau's nation, right? His rulership is coming to an end. That's why these Christians, which is Esau's doctrine, that's his wine that he has the whole world drunk off of. Which with that Christianity comes everything, their structure, their government structure. That is how they pushed forth their agenda, was through the false Christianity. And you're starting to see how they're being exposed. Getting into Isaiah of the 14th chapter, sitting the dust. Their skirts being lifted up at the same time as Jake is starting to become more powerful. It's like, and the Most High is using his prophets to push forth his truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and to wake up the elect, because we're living in the last days, right? All these prophecies are being fulfilled, right? You have some major prophecies that are building up, like this whole thing with cryptocurrency and the lack of petrodollar and the economy crashing is all a ploy to get you to take an RFID microchip. And once you take that RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, written about in Revelations, right? That is it for you. Once you take that beast and you take an allegiance or a pledge with Esau Edom, you're giving him the power and reverence rather than giving it to the power of the Creator. You're worshiping the creature rather than the Creator. Because, okay, you think Esau has all the power to help you, because he's giving you government assistance, and when you call the police, Esau shows up, right? So you think he's your friend and you think he's going to help you. Well, the truth is he's not. He's your enemy. And everything that he's been doing, all this assistance, was to make you weaker than him, right? Because part of the curses say that the stranger that is among you shall come way up above you, and you shall be very low below them. And that's exactly what Esau did. He built himself up, you know, because we had him in derision for 1,000 years in Europe, right? But he broke loose out of that, you know, according to the Balfour Declaration and the Renaissance, right? He came. This is how he got his power, right? The Renaissance era, iconoclasm, painted himself up. They just unearthed some artifacts and pictures, hieroglyphs from Egypt, and it showed some of the royalty along with the slaves, all dark-skinned people, the slaves and the royalty. So that just goes to show Esau, you're not even a part of history, man. You know, you're a blink of an eye. You're like a bad dream, because your power is short. Your triumphing is but for a moment, as the scriptures say, and you shall disappear. You know, like a dream. Right? You shall be as your dung. You know, it's gonna everything that you've done. Right now that Jacob has a hold of your heel, right, and you know you're in the fruition of your power and the whole top of your power seat. Well, you're on the downward climb. You know, you're on the downward spiral of your rulership, and everybody can see it, even yourself. You know, that's why you're like frantic. You know, seeking whom you may devour, trying to you know, push your agenda. You look at what's going on in India right now, in Pakistan. We know the devil's behind that. You know, and this Christian bombing that just happened in Sri Lanka. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, the agenda's being pushed, and if you're too asleep to see it, you know, it's gonna be a rude awakening. You know, but I didn't want to make this too long. I kind of just wanted to bring out, you know, the fact about the Sri Lanka bombing, and just put that spirit out there in the air that Esau's kingdom is failing, right? The kingdom shall be translated from one people to another, right? And the kingdom is being translated because Jacob held first the heel of Esau. It's being translated from the first son because he needs to serve the younger, right? The elder shall serve the younger. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Say shalom.